Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie Jobity. I'm the brilliant unveiler, a leadership elevation strategist for women, and host and creator of Limitless Leaders Summit, designed for women ready to break barriers, manifest their dreams, and own their power. I am so passionate about women elevating in their professional lives, expanding how they see themselves and the world around them, and evolving so they can shed what no longer serves them and truly shine in their brilliance. Because the truth is, the possibilities are so endless when we are in our highest expression and finally take the reins of our lives so we can become the unapologetic, limitless leaders we truly are. Our incredible speaker today is Eda Hardy. Welcome, Eda.
Hi, Natalie. So great to be here.
Great to have you here. So let's read a little bit more about Eda. Eda Hardy is a recognized expert in subconscious programming and the founder of the Inner Self Mastery ISM protocol, a powerful client-proven method designed to reprogram the subconscious mind and rewire the nervous system within minutes. With nearly 20 years of experience, Eda developed ISM by blending 14 transformative techniques, including EFT, NLP, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, and inner child healing. This comprehensive approach addresses complex challenges with depth and precision, offering rapid, lasting breakthroughs for clients. With nearly 2 decades of experience in subconscious programming, Ed has invested over a lot of money in training with leaders in their field, continually refining her expertise to deliver unmatched results. Her dedication to inner self-mastery, love that term, and commitment to resolving deep-seated struggles have led clients to describe her work as life-changing, often calling it the best decision investment they've ever made for both their professional and personal growth. That's awesome, Eda. Okay, so our theme today is the biggest hidden barriers to limitless leadership and how to overcome them in. All right, Eda, that's a whole lot. So you have a lot of training that you have done. And so tell us about your journey into getting so deep into all of this psychotherapy brain stuff.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. So we might need to go back about 20 years. So I achieved everything I wanted to achieve in my life. So from the outside, I had a very successful career. I was working as a computer programmer, an accountant, flying business class everywhere, staying in these five-star hotels. To everybody else, I looked like I had made it.
Mhm.
But behind the scenes, it was a different story. I was exhausted, I was overwhelmed and drowning. Also, I was a single mom and carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Yeah.
So trying to be everything to everyone. I think most of the entrepreneurs can relate to this as well. So my days were kind of blur of deadlines, stress, and exhaustions. And I told myself, just keep through, keep pushing through, work harder. It's gonna be okay. I can handle stress. And I was like, you don't have a choice. You have two children to look after. Just
Mm.
keep going and ignore all the warning signs, the constant fatigue and stress, all the aches and pains. And I was feeling like completely disconnected from myself, but I was keep pushing.
Mm.
So one day, my body quit on me. I collapsed. Yes, yes. So I was stuck in a bed over 2 weeks with this pain that you can't even describe. It was a
Mm.
physical, mental, and emotional.
Mm.
I had nothing left to give. So the woman who had once handled everything couldn't even go to a bathroom. I was that ill. I
Wow.
couldn't even sleep. So my body was like, we had enough. We can't do anymore.
Yeah.
So that moment changed everything. I had to make a decision. So lying there in this dark room, and I had two choices: either keep pushing until my body broke down completely, yeah, or find a way to heal, not just survive, but truly heal, because I was surviving.
Yeah. And I just want to pause here because, it's interesting the past couple of years, burnout has become a theme among women leaders and executives and entrepreneurs because we have been so programmed to go, 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 grind, grind, grind.
Yes.
instead of be, and and so and it's interesting. There are a lot of new books coming out about rest, and it's so things are shifting slowly, Etta, up into like we can't be the be all and end all for everything and everybody. So, but you had to learn it the hard way, and a lot of us have had to learn it the hard way.
Yeah. And I see so many people going through the same thing. So I'm hoping they're sharing my journey. And then people think that it's okay, they're working 7 days a week and, they're really struggling, but they keep pushing. Don't push because,
Right.
yeah, because your body does give up. And anyway, I made a promise and I said, look, if find a way out of this, if I get better, I will find a way to help others and myself. So nobody has to go through the same pain and struggles that I went through. And I got better. So I kept my promise.
Yeah.
And same day, I resigned from my job. I was doing three people's workload at the time. But I said, that's
Wow.
it. Yeah, I resigned. And I just didn't want to quick fixes. I want something at a very deep, deep level. So I went,
Transformational.
yeah, and I studied, neuroscience, the all sort of done self-help stuff and the trauma healing, energy psychology, subconscious reprogramming, anything that just come to my way. I was like, yeah, I'm going in.
And this was never stuff you had even done before, right? This
No,
kind of work.
no, not really. No, it was new to me. And it's spent over £180,000. I'm still looking for the like where is the answers, how are we going to do this?
Wow.
Because tried all the therapy work, the coaching and everything. I knew something was stopping me. I couldn't just move forward. And I train with the best people in the field, and I'm like, still something is not right here. I cannot implement the stuff that I know, because there is something stopping me.
Hmm.
But what happened is I was kept trying to change things with willpower, you know, and it wasn't working because of my subconscious blocks, because I didn't see success as safe. I didn't see being visible as safe because I had my own traumas from my childhood. When you're
Mm.
an entrepreneur, you need to be okay with that kind of things. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this. But
But let's
once,
just be clear. Hold on a second. Eda, this is audience is going to be entrepreneurs, executives, any woman who is about leading in any way. So let me just make that clear. It relates to all of them.
yes, yes, and we're not even aware of it. We know that there is walls that blocking us, but we don't know why. Yeah.
And it
We,
can be so frustrating because it's like you're saying, we're doing the work, we go into therapy, we're taking care of ourselves, but yet something's not in alignment and we don't know what that is because we can't, our brain is, it's hidden right in our brain.
yes, yes. It's in the subconscious. So when we go and do sort of like therapies, talking therapies, let's say, for instance, it only address the conscious mind, which is 5%. Subconscious is
Uh,
95%. Unless you kind of go deep enough to look at the programs that you have, how your subconscious seeing your success. Is it safe or is it dangerous? How is visibility? Is it safe for you? And unless it sees it as a safe, it's never gonna let you. It's never gonna let you have it. It's always going to self-sabotage you.
that's okay. Let's just pause right there. So, because I want to make sure people are hearing what you're saying right now. So, let me reinterpret what you're saying. So, our subconscious mind could have a trauma related definition or a impression of what success means, but our conscious mind is not aware of that. The subconscious mind is thinking of success as not safe, dangerous, or whatever, and it's there to protect us. So even though our conscious mind is saying I want success, the subconscious mind is saying no, you can't have it.
That's correct. Yes.
That's
So we
deep.
end up procrastinating. We end up self-sabotaging it, and we wonder why it's not working for us. It's like a safety mechanism. It's been like trying to drive your car with a handbrake on. You're not going anywhere because it's not safe.
Yeah.
So once I started with the, subconscious programming, started changing my old programming, everything started to change in my life. My depression lifted, my body started to heal, my self-sabotaging pattern, disappeared, and I started becoming more visible, starting attracting more clients and getting outstanding results for my clients. They were like, oh my God, I've been going into therapy for 40 years. In one session, you had me to overcome this. What is
Wow.
this?
So
You
hold
know?
on. So as somebody who's been to done a lot of talk therapy over the course of my adult life, I mean, lots of therapy and some deep, sometimes very deep. So how do we know when our subconscious blocks are removed, Eda?
Oh, you have a shift. You feel it in your being. The way that I do it, you feel it in your cellular memory. You become a completely, you started seeing things from a completely different perspective. Before, you might see it as like, oh my God, that happened to me. I was a victim and this person's to blame. And because that happened, I cannot be myself. So I need to hide. Or let's say, for instance, somebody being laughed as at school. Because normally this programming happens when we are very young, less than 8 years old, because we got a clean slate. And when we experience something first time, what happens is we make a meaning out of it. Humans are like meaning making machines. So if somebody laugh at you, let's say when you're at school, and because you didn't answer the question correctly, subconscious might say, oh my God, that was so painful. We can never make a mistake. We have to be so perfect to avoid making a mistake so people won't laugh at us. So what happens? Perfection is born, and they, just make sure that they push themselves at their limits, making sure that everything is correct,
Yeah.
so that nobody will laugh at them. So these are the things extremely important, and we need to go and deal with them. Once we deal with them, we don't see ourselves as a victim anymore. So when we have this shift, it's almost like we understand the reason behind the experience, why the soul decided to go through the experience, and you got a silver lining behind the experience. And from victim to you become like a hero. You're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I went through the experience because of the experience, I learned this, and this is a great learning experience for me. So that's the kind of shift we're looking for. And you become a different person. So you don't worry about what other people think about you anymore because you left that behind you, you know?
It's like
Such
a complete flip. You literally flip your script. You flip
yes,
your script, but not because now you're aware of what the script was saying, and you could flip your script.
yes. And you bring in forgiveness, the compassion, all those towards all these people that hurt you, actually, because you understand the reason behind it. You're
That's so
like, oh my,
interesting. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I love it. It's so interesting.
So you went from doing computer programming and all this stuff to becoming is a psychologist. Would that be correctly defined? What you
No, I call myself a subconscious reprogramming expert. I used to do computer programming, now I do brain programming because really it's so similar to computer programming. We got the input, we got output, we got what to do, and that's it. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same. So to find what's happening, we need to go back. We need to find out the core issue when they made a decision about the same thing, about who they are, because self-perception is extremely important. And once we find that, we reprogram the whole subconscious. We calm the nervous system down. That's another important thing. Yeah, because if your nervous system is always in the fight, flight, and freeze response, what's happening is you're continuously producing adrenaline and cortisol, and it's not good for us. Stress hormones,
Yeah.
it's ruining our health, all the autoimmune condition and everything. So we're changing all of that and give a completely different meaning, and yeah, look at things from a completely different perspective. So there is no more self-sabotage, there is no more procrastination, and my clients often mention, working with me has been like the best decision and investment of their lives because This happens quickly. So when somebody really working with this subconscious mind, we're not talking about affirmations, anything like this. Affirmations are mostly for conscious mind. But we're talking about deep stuff. So when I work with my clients, I have them to overcome one issue in one session, which is like 60 to 90 minutes. So if someone's got, let's say, fear of failure, we go and find out why they got the fear of failure, and we release that. And the fear of failure is gone in minutes. And they no longer have to have fear of failure.
So what makes the way your inner self-mastery protocol different than other techniques? Like, so you mentioned, like, I've learned, I know about these things: hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming. These are all science-backed techniques that other therapists use. What makes your therapy so unique and makes the results happen so quickly?
I think I've got a really good understanding of how our brain works. And like I said, I combine 14 different healing modalities, like NLP, EFT, and the somatic work. And I bring the mind, body, and soul into the consideration, all of them. That's very important. We can't ignore one of them. We have to bring it all and listen to the body, because body is extremely important. So I created this 8-step process system to reprogram the subconscious, but also rewire the nervous system. That's the important thing. So once we break through that, there is no more traumas. So you can overcome any traumas in minutes. You don't have to go to therapy for years. And with this inner self-mastery protocol, I even help my clients overcome 4-5 traumas in one session, because they related to each other. They related. So what happens is, it's been like the echoes. I call it echoes. The first thing happened, the first pattern happens, and the patterns keep repeating itself. And people keep wondering, why is this keep happening to me? So once we get rid of the first one, the rest of them just disappears. Nothing there.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's just like as again, somebody who's done a lot of work like that, it's like, I'm just so curious. And it's funny because maybe your journey from being a very well-versed computer programmer, and you're saying it's now brain programming, you have a certain special gift, I'm imagining, Eda, that makes you translate, okay, this is what we do in computer science work, but with the brain and all that I know now, that's how you created inner self-mastery protocol. So it's like, that's what makes it so different. And I guess you said mind, body, soul. So you're putting all these together in this protocol. And so a woman can come, let's say a woman here is listening, and she is dealing with, she has a big vision, and she's doing all the things, like we were saying, doing all the work, working hard, but she's not seeing the result. She's like, what is going on? She's done inner work, she's done self care stuff, but for some reason she knows there's a block, but she doesn't understand where the block is coming from. What would you say to her?
So we need to go much deeper, because all this stuff are our blind spots. Okay, most of the time we're not even aware of them. That's the other thing. Because if you think about it, subconscious is 95%, and the conscious mind only drives our action about 5%. So how can you go into your subconscious with 5% and trying to change it?
Right.
It's very, very difficult. So we need to bring some awareness into it and see what's happening. I normally look at it kind of, I like to see the bigger puzzle pieces. So I want to understand what's happening, what's keep repeating, what's the big traumas, what meanings they're given, how they see themselves and everything. And also change it one at a time. So I custom design the programs, and this is why I teach to my students as well. So I put this into an 8-step process, and it's a foolproof process. And if they didn't do something correctly in one of the stages, the next stage doesn't work. So I know that they have to get it right. So they're very good as well. You know, it's not just about my gifts and everything. The way that I'm kind of teaching this is so profound that we're getting outstanding results. And we just need to sort of show success as not dangerous, it's all good and subconscious, because if you think about it, it's its job is to keep us safe. So it
Yeah.
doesn't understand that we want to scale to six figures, we want to become limitless. It doesn't understand that we want to, have the best relationship. Its job is to keep us safe because it doesn't see our growth is safe because we might fail. And if we fail, we might lose maybe our loved ones. And what will people say about us? It's just trying to keep us safe. So all we need to do is say, actually, failure is okay,
Mm.
you know, and success is okay, and being visible is okay. So because these are the kind of challenges that I see. I'll give you an example from my clients. It might make more sense as well. Like Helen, great coach, yeah. Her results were like incredible. Client loved her work, but it doesn't matter how much effort she put in, she couldn't break past a certain income level. And she's like, I'm implementing all the strategies, the marketing, but I'm stuck. What's happening here? I said, okay, let's have a look at it again. We look at everything holistically. And when we dug deeper, we find this old subconscious memory. She completely forgot about it. But what happened was her father was a very, very successful person, financially successful.
Mm.
But he left the family for another woman, younger woman. And her mother always said if he wasn't so rich, he wouldn't have
Left.
left. So her subconscious believed that making more money meant losing people she loved. So as you can see, so without realizing, without her conscious awareness, she was blocking her own success because deep down, her subconscious thought it will cost her everything, and she didn't want to lose her relationship. So once we rewired that belief, everything changed. She, raised her prices without guilt. She started attracting higher paying clients and completely gone to the next level. Her business grow easily because everything is also energy. So we don't need to work harder. We don't need to sort of find the next best marketing trick or strategy because everything starts with us. If we are in the way, we're not going anywhere. We need to let ourselves, go first of all, make sure that we're ready for this. We need to make sure the success feels safe so we can drive our car to the destination that we want to go to.
That's beautifully said. So beautifully said. And I just love the idea that it's once we have reframed that thing, we weren't even aware that we were thinking that's where the limitlessness comes in. That's where the freedom, that's where you can get to be who you truly are, because this block that you wasn't even aware that was blocking you is now gone. And you said something really important that I really believe strongly into is you said energy. A lot of it is energy. Speak a little bit more about the energetics behind all of this, Eda.
I mean, we are made of energy if you think about it. Yeah, such an important thing. You attract similar things to yourself. And we need to understand that we need to be able to see and believe that we can get to a certain place to be able to get there. It's about energy. What if you think about it, when we buy certain things from people, why do we buy it? It's because we like their energy, don't we?
We don't even know that's why we're buying it though.
Yeah, I know. But deep down, you know it. You just know that, oh my God, this person resonates with me. This person definitely can help me. It's all about the energy. So your energy needs to be on certain level. Like I'll give you another example. I see that with my students quite a lot as well. So when they overcome something, like for just a simple example, grief. Grief is a very big kind of energy that we hold onto in our body, and it shows us it usually sits in our lungs, and we can't breathe fully. So what happens is when the student overcome grief process, let's say themselves, when they release it, they message me and they say, you're not going to believe that, but I just got 3 new clients and want to work on grief.
Huh.
Yeah. That's how it is. Somebody, like one of my students, overcome money blocks, because money blocks are not that difficult to overcome actually. Once overcome it, they like, You're not gonna believe it, but I've got like 4 clients wants to work on money blocks. I'm like, yeah, this is how it is. Everything is energy.
Energies aligning.
And universe knows what you overcome, and they send you clients for that as well, isn't it? When you think about it, and we become limitless. You know, our only limitation is the limitations that we put ourselves there. There's
Yeah.
no limitations. So once we get rid of those layers, those limitations that we created, usually our younger self, because didn't know all this what was happening, I see all sorts of things. I see miracles. I've seen people having like children after being trying years and years, after just releasing that fear. Something might happen if they have children, let's say. And once we release it, once we kind of subconsciously is safe, they got pregnant within a couple of weeks. I've seen all sorts of miracles, all sorts of miracles.
That's fantastic. And I just think it's so unique. We hear about, I mean, again, there's so many techniques and things out there, but when you actually see the results, because like and this is something I have a gripe with when it comes to therapy. There's actually a movie I was watching, and the therapist was doing, the people were like, we've coming here for 2 years, nothing's changed. Therapy can be so passive, and it can be depending on the therapist, right? But a lot of it can be so very passive. They ask you questions, you answer them, but there's no strategy, there's no destination. It's just talk, 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 talk. This happened. And if you're not watching it, you're like, years have passed, and wait, what has really changed in my life? I've gone, and in the movie, they were like, we spent $33,000, we want our money back, whatever. And it was a funny story. But yeah, like not doing the work but not seeing the results is the most frustrating thing. So to know that this technique that you do, this protocol you've created, actually moves the needle, and not just moves the needle, moves the needle so that well, bad metaphor here, the car can go to the destination that it really wants, and there's the brake isn't holding it back, and so you talk about it happening in minutes. And I don't know if that's part of your marketing, obviously, but like it's not. I guess your point is it doesn't have to take that long.
No, it happens in the same session. 60 to 90 minutes. I can help anyone to overcome any trauma, any complex trauma, anything. I mean, I've been doing this 14 years. I've got 100% success rate. I even offer a money back guarantee. That's why I've been asked so many times, like, can you teach us this? Can you teach us this? And that's why I created a certification program, Trauma Informed Subconscious Programming with Inner Self Mastery Protocol, to teach this, because people want to implement this into their, practice, because they're seeing outstanding results. They're like, more people needs to use this. We want to make the world a better place. We want to become more limitless. And why do we, like you say, why do we want to spend all that time in therapy, not going anywhere? Because therapy only addresses the conscious mind. It doesn't go deeper. We need to go much deeper and change the programming. And once we do this, there's nothing stop us anymore. You just become, honestly, limitless. If you really want to become limitless, go and work with the subconscious. Because everything is in control of subconscious, even our breathing, our heart rate, our health, isn't it? When we think about it, even sometimes we drive our car subconsciously, and it's the same. We are on autopilot. We don't realize it. We think we are in charge. We're not. Everything we're saying, doing is being checked by the subconscious, first of all, before it even comes out of my mouth.
So when we say autopilot, that's referring to the subconscious?
Yes, subconscious controls it. Subconscious controls everything. 95% of our actions, decisions, everything being controlled by
It's
the
so
subconscious.
interesting. It's
All
so
our
interesting.
programs.
What is curious to me is that our brains, right, which are the things that we use to think, to do, to execute, initiate, that we're so unaware of what our brain is actually thinking, that we're unaware of, like you said, 95% of what our brain is actually thinking. That just seems kind of like, that doesn't really make sense, but again, from childhood, like you're saying, different things can happen and things are formed, but we're children and our brains are still forming. So maybe I'm getting in too deep in the scientific part right now, but I'm just like, how is this possible that our brains are like, unless we've done this deeper, deeper, deeper work, that we're not even aware of what we need to be aware of. I mean, and so many of us women are walking around blind, I mean, I would use the word veil to our brilliance and veil to our issues, that they are not even aware that we even have issues.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, people got limiting beliefs. So what are limiting beliefs? Like, I'm not good enough. Okay.
Right.
Then somebody even might act like they're good enough, but deep down they feel like, they know that they're not good enough. They feel that. What do? They ignore opportunities. So they keep their prices low, don't they? Yeah.
That's right.
And they might maybe do more trainings or keep themselves small because they don't feel they're good enough. They don't put themselves out there, but they
They're
know.
not
So where's the
worthy.
belief coming from? I'm not good enough. It's a subconscious belief again. Or they might have, if I become too successful, I will burn out. Because so many of entrepreneurs also live this, don't they? We know that people are worried about burnout and overwhelm and everything. So deep down, success feels like losing freedom. So what happens is brain just steps in to protect against that. So they never make lots of money. They never become successful. So they don't get burned out.
So in the times we're in, Ada, I mean, you're in the UK, right? Um, Here in America, there's a lot of craziness happening right now. And just like I just think it's not just America, right? It's the whole world is going through a lot of stuff. So I think as people, as beings, I believe this year is going to be a very challenging year on a number of fronts. I mean, we just look at the weather alone, and that's its own thing, but all across the world, how how can we intentionally make it so that with all the stuff that we do not control outside of our control, with what's happening in the world, wherever we live, how can we ensure that we feel safe within ourselves and we are creating an environment where we can still thrive regardless of what is happening around us? I don't know if that's making sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So we have two choices when we make a choice. Yeah. Love or fear. Most people being driven by fear. So if that's the case, we need to overcome our fears. And again, who's controlling the fears? Subconscious. You need to work with the subconscious to overcome the fears. So you can ask questions like, what's the worst thing can happen to me? And dig deeper. Why do I feel that? What's the worst thing happen again if this happens? So digging much deeper and deeper, bring some awareness into it, and actually dealing with that decision, the one point they made, gonna help resolve quite lots of things. And also other things, if they want to go much deeper as well about their business as well, questions like, what do I believe about success? You know, what do I believe? Just
Well,
keep.
and I want to bring this outside of just entrepreneurship just for a minute again, because like, again, even in where I live right now in this metro area, people are being laid off. Women who have done hard work, went up the ladder, however high they went, but are being laid off very dramatically because of things happening with the government, or feeling like they need to resign because it's just not a healthy environment, or that if they are too high or too visible, there'll be so much consequences, which is actually not a subconscious thing. That's a real deal that we as women have to deal with, like the whole lack of gender parity, the whole, as women, we have to act a certain way or else we're too much, to this. So there are all these other thoughts that aren't just subconscious stuff, that are actually real, on these quotes, limits that we could perceive that make us, and it can be for entrepreneurial women or executive women, make us play small or make us think we just have to stay here, because if we go higher, go further, it's not safe.
Yeah. It's a belief again, isn't it? If we go higher, we're not safe. And that's what's going to happen. We got this reticular activating system in our brain. Whatever we believe in is going to bring it to us. It will bring lots of proof. If someone believes that they're not good enough, they will have lots of proofs that they're not good enough. If somebody believes that they're going to struggle, they're going to struggle, because there's so many people out there making it and so many people struggling, isn't it? When you think about it, again, it depends on the belief system as well. If you see somebody kind of very confident. They really believe in themselves. They feel like they can conquer this world. They limitless. Do you see them suffer? Do you see them being held back by all this stuff is happening in the world? No, they will find a way because they have that belief that they will, and they do.
Well, I think that's an interesting point for the woman listening to ponder on, because there are some big name celebrities, I don't want to name them necessarily, who we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but again, from what we can see, they're still killing it with whatever craft they have, whatever talents they have. They're still making waves, they're still making headlines, they're still, regardless of what's happening, like you're saying. So how come they're not impacted? We don't know what's happening behind the scenes necessarily, but in terms of success and what, I mean, again, outward appearance of success and what they show us, it looks like they have not had anything to prevent them from climbing up and keep on being where they are. So we have to, I guess, a question to reflect on is, okay, so how much of my, even though there's some quote unquote real limits or ceilings in my world, how much of my belief is making those ceilings real? And,
Your
and maybe they're not even as real as I think they are.
Oh, they're very real. Our whole world is based on beliefs. You know, people kill for their beliefs, isn't it? When you think about it, it's different how people show up to something because of their beliefs. You know, beliefs is everything. And
And those,
where is the beliefs coming from? You know, your
yeah.
childhood experience, your old programming. I call it programming because that's how we learned it. And then they tend to repeat itself. I'll give you another example. I thought this was really interesting with one of my clients. Like entrepreneur, he was keep building new businesses, and every business that he built, he lost it the fire, and he never put one on one together. Yeah,
He
he
lost it by
never did
fire, you
that.
said?
Fire. Yeah, his business burned up. Every business that he set up, about 4 or 5 different business, and he never see the connection, and he just thought it was fine. It was nothing wrong with it until I kind of pointed out. I said, "Have you noticed this? Every business that you set up, you know, fire happened." And we started looking into it. We're like, when did you have this experience? Did you have any problem with the fire? And he started thinking, it wasn't, again, his conscious awareness, and said, oh my God, I remember when I was 4 years old, we were in a forest with a friend, and we decided to, start a fire and burn a couple of things, but it got out of hand, and we were so scared we was going to burn the whole fire and stuff. And we felt like we lost everything. So that's gone inside in his head, fire, losing everything. And every business that he set up, even one of them was on the sea. Sea. One business was on the sea, one of those like blow up castles and stuff. It burned on the
That's
sea.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
This is just like, you can't make this stuff up. We create our own reality just on autopilot, and we don't just realize it.
So that's to the manifesting your dreams part of this summit, which is that if we truly want to manifest our dreams, we have to make sure that what we're visioning is coming from both our subconscious and our conscious mind.
Yeah, yeah. It needs to be safe. If it's not safe, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Again, that's why we're asking, is it safe for me? What is success? If I make money, what's going to happen to me? If I break the six-figure ceiling, let's say, or seven-figure ceiling, what's the worst thing can happen to me? Am I going to lose my family? Oh my God, I see that so often. Or I can't make more money than my family, I will be rejected. Or I can't make more money than my partner, he will feel bad about it, and I don't want him to. So we always somehow subconsciously hold ourselves back until we got rid of that.
It's the playing small, like we feel we have to play smaller than the other person, for whatever reason, again, whatever programming we've had, conditioning growing up as women, and there's a lot of conditioning around us, no matter where we
Okay.
come from.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. As
Yeah.
women, we do have so much. Yeah, I see that. Women have quite a lot.
A lot. And again, even we might be aware of it on some level, Ada, but like you're saying, we don't have we did not make the connection between okay, this is what I know deep down, but I didn't connect it to this experience I had and how it's really formed the way I see things or respond to things. Anything else you want to share with the women listening about how they can own their power once they release their self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs?
I mean, once they release that, their power comes back to them. So this is something I always ask to my clients, my students. I say, what's your personal power percentages at the moment from 0 to 100? 100 is full power, 0 is like zero, like your phone battery. How much power you have? And they might say, oh, 40, 50, or 60. So what happened to the rest of your power? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Where is it going? Is it going to your past, your future, present? What is it? So what we do is when we overcome our traumas, when we overcome our beliefs and fears, we claim our power back. So my clients tend to get to 100% within a couple of sessions. So imagine I sit down once a week, couple of sessions, 3-4 sessions, they get 100%, they got full power. And once we are over 85%, that's when we start creating our reality, because our power, our subconscious in line with the conscious goals. So claiming our power back extremely important, and finding out what's happening to that power. Where is it going? Is it going to my ex? Is it going to other entrepreneurs, or is it going to family members? Just claim your power back. I know this is harder than it's said, but honestly, with inner self-mastery protocol, it's just like that. And people wonder why they haven't done this, long time ago. So they end up, having sleepless night, the worries, the panic attacks. I'll give you another example from one of my clients again. Very successful businessman, making millions, got a big kind of like company, lots of people working for him. He was having panic attacks non-stop. Every single day, at least 4 hours, and ended up in an A&E non-stop. Using all this, medications and everything, we started working together. After the second session, panic attacks are completely disappeared, completely. His doctor couldn't believe it. He's like, how is this possible? Ask for my number, doctors. Contacted me, was like, this is not possible. He's like, I've never seen anything like this. And his panic attacks never come back, by the way.
And that's because he got rid of some subconscious programming.
Yeah, whatever was causing the panic attacks, because subconsciously, body is like our subconscious. Yeah, it tells us what is right, what's wrong. So every time he was getting triggered, whatever fears like was coming up for him, he was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Creating this panic attacks. But once we get rid of the fear, no more panic attacks. He become a completely different person, completely. If anybody interested, they can go to my website, masteryourfuture.co.uk, watch about his interview. I've got lots of testimonies like this. I see miracles. I seen people like recovering from severe pains in one session. I seen people breaking through 6 figures within a couple of sessions because they get rid of the money blocks. I seen people, oh my God, finding the love of their life, just getting rid of that again, subconscious block, whatever is in the way, making it safe to have a relationship. It's easy.
So it doesn't matter what the block is.
We can get rid of it. Because it's a block that we learn in this lifetime. We didn't born with it, we learned it here. So if you put it in there, we can also get rid of it.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. The good way to look at it. Like somewhere got in, from in my time here on earth, so it can come out.
We just need a little help, because like I said, with our conscious mind, we cannot go into subconscious. It's protected. Otherwise, everyone will be going and changing it. We just need some help, like someone like me, and go and kind of look at it and just change it within minutes. Not painful whatsoever. That's why I'm also doing the certification program, because I can only reach a certain amount of people. But if I've got more people doing this work, we can make a massive difference in the world. So if anybody kind of called to do this work, implement it to their, practice, welcome to join me. Let's change the world altogether. Let's bring this to everybody.
Yeah, that's, I was thinking like you need to be talking to the American Psychological Association, and coming up with your protocol as part of their training or something, like so that therapy just shifts, like therapy becomes a whole different, has a different structure because the therapy that they, again, it, all of it is just like, what are we really doing here?
But the thing
We want to
is,
see transformation. We want to see shifts. We want to see movement. Now, some people come with some really heavy stuff, of course, that takes time, maybe, and whatever. But I'm just saying, like therapy as a whole, I think that's why some people stay away from therapy because they're like, I don't want to spend 2 years on a couch. No, it's not a couch anymore, on a virtual screen talking to somebody and nothing happens.
but the thing is that some people not ready to let go and they just need to kind of go there slowly. So therapy can be very handy for those sort of people. So they need to first of all open up, be ready, and when they're ready. So I never take people if they're not ready to let go. I
That
only take people when they're ready. Yeah.
that okay, because yes, because I'm like that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Some people, just need to kind of just put their, foot in the water,
Their toe in the
try
water.
and get ready for it. So therapy can be very, handy. But the other things is like coaching. Coaching is amazing, but if you're holding yourself back, no matter what sort of coaching you got, you're not moving forward. So you need
Exactly.
to, deal with your blocks first of all, deal with your fears, get rid of that, and go and get coaching afterwards. Because I made that mistake. I worked with amazing coaches and I couldn't implement anything. I was so afraid. I was afraid of visibility. So actually, I had a massive speech impediment when I was growing up because I was abandoned as a baby. So I didn't speak very long time, and when I started speaking, I couldn't pronounce my letters, my words, and everybody was making fun of me. So growing up was extremely painful for me. Maybe that's why I decided to hide behind the numbers and the coding
Yeah.
and everything, so I didn't have to speak. But when I decided to move into this work, make a difference in the world, I had to be visible, but I couldn't. I written this bestseller book and they said to me, do a 1 minute video. I couldn't do it because
Wow.
I was remembering all these moments. People were laughing at me, at school, or my parents like laughing at me, you know, not understanding me. And my body was shaking. I was feeling, my heart was beating. I couldn't do this 1 minute video. I think I did about 150 takes. I'm not kidding you. I just couldn't do it.
Hmm.
I had to go and find someone to help me subconsciously get rid of that. And once I get rid of that, I started doing live videos like this. But if somebody told me this 20 years ago, I would be like, are you kidding me? No way I can do that.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. The vulnerability will help any woman listening to know that no matter what it is, your fear is your fear, but like you don't have to live with it. And there are ways to conquer that. And maybe, what Eda does is what you need if you're ready to break, if you're really truly ready and you've done some work and you're ready to break that limit, that
Yeah,
ceiling or that barrier,
yeah.
reach out to Eda.
And it's so much easier than you think. And it's not painful or anything like this. Honestly, I see miracles every day and I love it. I mean, it's something so simple. Yeah. It was just a little demo I did with one of my students the other day. Just to showing people she had this chocolate craving non-stop. She wanted to eat chocolate, 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 non-stop, couldn't stop herself. About 20, 25 minutes, it's gone like that.
Hmm.
And it's something small, very small, not big, but it can be life changing for many people. So we can get rid of any cravings, any addictions, anything in minutes. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to live that reality anymore. My tagline is transform your reality with Eda. Yeah. Help people to transform their realities. And people wonder, who am I going to be without this? Who am I going to be? If I let this go, you're going to find yourself.
Yeah.
Biggest fear, because you didn't born with it. You're going to become your happy self, your content self. So they are the side effects. You're going to feel these butterflies. When you wake up, you're going to be feeling happy. You're going to feel like you got a purpose and you want to take your business to the next level. These are the side effects.
Well, it's a more expanded view. Like, so now that you don't have a limit, you like can open up in a way that you hadn't before. And there are aspects to yourself that you will discover. It's like amazing. Like it's like wand and awe of like what's possible for me now. Like the
Yeah.
sky is they say the sky is the limit. Even the sky is not the limit. I mean, I'm just making a joke there. There's so much you can that becomes possible. So much.
Yes. Because if you think about it, when you look at a child, do they have any fears? Nothing. They feel like they can do anything, they can be anything. So what's in the way are decisions, the decision that we made about life ourselves. And once we remove that, we become that childlike again. We become
Love
free,
it.
we become happy.
Okay, so I'm looking at the time. I want to get us into the fire round before we get into your free gift. Eda, is that okay?
Yes, sure.
Okay, let me get my questions. All right. So, do you have a word theme of the year? And if so, what is it?
Team of the year, transformation. Because that's what I love. Transformation for me and transformation for others as well. And for the world. I want the world to be a much better place, much nicer place. We humans deserve that.
Yeah. What's one limit you've once believed in that you've completely shattered?
Whoa, I had so many of them. So many. Um, I mean, one of the first one that I thought I could never do this, being on summits. Oh my God, no way.
Being on camera, being live, being
Yeah, I
being
mean, even in
recorded.
the meetings, I didn't even speak. I was always the quiet one, the one that never spoke. Never.
That's amazing. In one word, how would you describe your leadership presence?
Caring.
Okay. What's
I
one?
care.
Go ahead.
I care about, yeah, I care so much about my students' success. I'm very, yeah.
What's a favorite quote or song title you'd like to share that has been instrumental in your life?
Oh God, I've got quite a bit. Let me think a good one. Oh, I like the one, I can't remember the whole thing. Oh, that's a really long one, but I can't remember the whole thing. It's very complex. Um, be the change you want to be. Let's say that one.
Okay. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think Barack Obama said that, I think, but maybe somebody else said before, I'm not sure. Um, who do you see as a limitless leader in the public eye?
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it? Oh, Elon Musk.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the things that he achieved. He's only a couple of years older than me. Look at the things he achieved. He came from nothing.
I didn't know he actually just learned he came from South Africa and he was born and raised there. I had no idea.
Yeah,
Um,
I read his book. He's got a really amazing story about you look at everything that he touched and created. For me, it's like he has no limits.
mm, mm. Okay. If you can gift every woman one belief about herself, what would that be?
You are good enough.
And what is one practice you do routinely to help you embrace and embody your limitlessness, Ada?
Gratitude is one of the most important ones. Raising your vibration is so important. Very
I love
important.
gratitude. Yeah, that's a big one for me too. Love it. Tell us about your free gift, Ada.
So I am actually offering a bit of a training about subconscious programming and a demo sessions. It's a group demo sessions, but it's going to help audience identify their money blocks. So if anyone's struggling to, hit certain levels in their business, they can join the demo session and they can find out what they need to do to break through them. Where is that coming from when they make that decision? So it's really great. I've seen outstanding result with that training and demo session actually. From the replay, I saw people, increasing their revenue 200%. just by releasing one little block. So I would highly recommend everyone to, yeah, spend some time and look at it. And because I think it's going to be a quite eye opener for them.
Awesome. Ada, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you for what you've done and created and how you're transforming lives. I mean, as you go with the training or the work you do individually, thank you for all you're doing to lift everybody up and to become better versions of themselves.
Oh, my pleasure. I love it. I'm keeping my promise.
To yourself, right on the bed, right?
The universe, I made a promise. I said I'm gonna find a way to, help people, find so they don't have to spend years in therapy. So I've done that. I'm keeping my promise and I'm teaching the other people now how to do it so we can change the world.
Give yourself a pat on the back, girl. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Everybody, see you soon. Bye.